Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Ondo State Governorship debate organized by Channels Television and its partners, the Civil Society Election Situation Room, in conjunction with the UK Aid, with support from UK Foreign Commonwealth Development Office. We are live in Akure, the Ondo State capital. This is the Sunshine State. Ondo is known for its endowment in natural and human resources, and no doubt the reason for the contest for the state's #1 position, the governorship seat. Tonight, 2 candidates out of the 3 invited will be talking to millions of people on their vision, programs, and agenda, and how they hope to achieve them if elected as governor of Ondo State on Saturday. There are set rules and guidelines for this debate. The candidates are aware and have agreed to those guidelines. This 2-hour debate is divided into segments: governance, welfare of the people, jobs, security, social development, and the economy. Let me state at this point that none of these candidates or their campaigns are aware of the questions. The audience here in this auditorium have also agreed to remain silent. Well, don't worry, wherever you may be watching us tonight, you can also follow this broadcast across all our social media platforms and be part of the conversation. You can watch us live on our website. It is channelstv.com. We are also live on Facebook and on Twitter. Twitterers using the hashtag Ondo Debate 2020, hashtag Ondo Debate 2020. In exception to the rule tonight of no jeering, no clapping, and no cheering, I will now invite you to applaud as an exception to one of the rules set tonight for this debate, as I introduce the candidates in alphabetical order using their party acronym. Welcome the candidate of the All Progressives Congress and the governor of Ondo State, Governor Rotimi Akeredolu. Of course, we will have the candidate of the People's Democratic Party, Eyito Yo Jegede, in a short while. But before we get started, thank you so much, Governor Akeredolu, for coming tonight. Before we get started, let's get some remark from our partners. The co-convener of the Civil Society Election Situation Room, Esther Uzoma.
May I, on behalf of the Nigeria Civil Society Situation Room, welcome everyone to the Ondo State Governorship debate. This debate is organized by the Nigeria Civil Society Situation Room in conjunction with our partners, Channels Television and UK Aid. This provides a platform for the candidates to once again tell the people of Ondo State their intentions for the next 4 years. Nigerian Civil Society Situation Room is happy to encourage the democratic processes to deepen democracy. And so today we encourage all citizens of Ondo State with their PVCs to come out on Saturday en masse and vote. For the candidates, I wish you well. To the people of this great state, the Sunshine State, I say, may your sun never set at noonday. Long live the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Esther Uzoma, for that opening remark. I want to sincerely thank Governor Akeredolu for coming up tonight. I know it's a very busy time in your campaigns ahead of Saturday. We're still expecting the candidate of the PDP to join us, who said he will join us in a short while, but we will continue. But let's now rise, everyone, for the Nigerian national anthem. Thank you so much, everyone. We would like to let you know that the candidates that will be on the stage tonight have been selected through a scientific process, and of course, it's a polling process which eventually birthed the candidates that were invited tonight. But we'll let you know that the candidate of the ZLP pulled out, but we have the candidates of the APC and the PDP tonight. Thank you so much, Governor Keredolu, for coming. We will start, and you have the advantage of coming early. Let's begin with your opening statement. I would like you, and that's going to be for 3 minutes. We'd like to know why you want to be the governor of Ondo State and why you think you are the best man for the job.
Thank you. I'm the governor now, and all of us know. And all I'm trying to do now is to run for a second term. Well, with the work I've done in the over 3.5 years since I've been here as governor of Ondo State, I believe that we've laid a very good foundation. But that notwithstanding, I believe that we still have a lot more to do. This state is changing for the better, and since we started this change, I feel convinced that it is now a best interest of the state, it is in our best interest in Ondo State to have continuity, so that a number of the work that we are set our hands on, we are in position to complete them, and we have clear vision of where we are going. We are tested, we've been here in the saddle, and we have learned a lot during this process. And it's not something, what you gain being a governor, even for 2 years, is great advantage over any other person. So for me, with this advantage, which is on our side, I believe that we should be able to at least serve the state one more time and at least take the state to the glorious heights which we always had in our focus all the time. All the time, I've always believed that Ondo State is blessed. We have everything, and yes, we needed very composed and focused leadership. And this, with all respect, and it's not praising or trying to pick myself as if I'm the best, but with all respect, I believe that we have led in this direction, in a direction to ensure that Ondo State is on a better pedestal for the growth expected, because things are changing in the world and Ondo State cannot sit back. So Ondo State needs a leader that can at least be part at the forefront of its development with the experience it has garnered, so that you don't throw this away. And we have a lot of things we have put in place. How do we sustain it? The only way, sustainability, for me, the only way for it is continuity. And that's why I felt, let us be here, do a little bit, spend another 4 years by the grace of God, and take Ondo State near the El Dorado. Nobody is going to say we will get there in 4 years, but I can assure you things are changing in Ondo State, and things will change for the better in Ondo State if we have another 4 years.
All right, thank you. Interesting. You've spent the first 3 minutes to give us your opening statement, but I'll give you another 3 minutes to tell us what would you do within your first 100 days in office should you be elected. You are serving a 4-year term now. Should you be elected, what's your plan and your agenda in the first 100 days?
Let me be fair to myself and to people who are listening to us. I am one of those people who is not guided by this timing. I don't believe in it, seriously, because you come in 100 days. I don't need to rush things, but there are many things that are in the pipeline that at the end of the day will almost ripen within the first 100 days. I expect, for instance, in the first 100 days in office, that our egg powder plant in Emurele should be up. I expect, for instance, in our first 100 days, that we should have had the port declaration and advertised for our port. I expect, for instance, that with hard work on the side, that within the first 100 days, there are roads that we have yet to complete. We should be able to complete the Idoka Road within our first 100 days because it has gone to an advanced stage. There are other roads that we are working on that I believe we should be able to complete. So there are numerous things we need to do or that we are doing. So I'm not going to be pigeonholed in 100 days, but I know that since we are working, it is to the advantage of the state and our own advantage too, that a number of processes that we have in place will be completed within the first 100 days. I can assure you that a number of classrooms, because we are already taking what I'll call, we are paying our matching grant on SUBEB project, and within 3 months, when we come in, a number of classrooms will have been completed. So quite a number of things can be done in the first 100 days. But I can assure you, I cannot just say these days. There is no, I'm not aiming for a particular target. I'm not new on the seat. I'm not new in the saddle. It is just for continuity, and that is it.
All right. Because you have the advantage of being the only man on the stage right now, I like you to sell for free your agenda and manifesto, your roadmap for this second time that you are canvassing for to the people of Ondo State. You have 2 minutes to do that.
For the first time?
I'm talking about your manifesto
right.
For the second time. You're canvassing for a second term in office, isn't it?
Yes. It is not going to be different from what I sold to the people of this state in my first term. And there are 5. JMPPR. There's no difference. I'm going to pursue it with everything that I have. The only difference, the little one, is that there are a number of changes, and I haven't been in the saddle, and I've been working with at neck level of that's National Economic Council level of the country. It has dawned on us, and all of us have accepted that we must move very swiftly towards zero oil economy, and that is probably an addition to it. Something has to be done. Oil will not be everything again in the country. It's almost even not only drying up, but it is not as profitable as we always thought it was. So with oil, zero oil economy, that is one of our targets. And that since I had said that in my earlier program, or what we call my manifesto, I said to them that, look, job creation through agriculture, industrialization, and entrepreneurship. So it keyed into what now has become the in thing, that we now have to have agroeconomy, so that we not only grow what we eat, we only eat what we grow. So Ondo State must be involved in it totally. So that's why I believe that our focus, our target, our trajectory now is on agric and zero oil economy, and that will explain as we go along.
Thank you so much, Governor Akeredolu, for those thoughts. Let me tell everyone that the candidate of the People's Democratic Party, Mr. Eyita Ojegede, has arrived. Thank you so much for coming. I know how difficult it is at this time. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you, Shehu.
We've started before you entered, but let's get your opening statement. Why do you think you are the man for the job? In 3 minutes, your opening statement.
Thank you very much. I do apologize for this late coming. We had to do some rallies, and it's part of the season. Now, I have a private sector experience spanning my entire legal practice period. I have also a span of public service experience for just 7.5 years when I served as the Attorney General and Commissioner for Justice in Ondo State. I had the benefit of looking at what operates in the private sector and the public sector. I know things are not going too well, and I believe there's need for us to have a new phase and a new positive change. I believe the time has come for us to have a more holistic, honest, and practical view at governance. What I intend to do by the grace of God and why I think I should be considered is one, because I intend to grow the economy. I know there are challenges in the health sector and intend to confront it. Now, I do know that the health facilities in those states is not in a good shape. And in the last 3.5 years, we have suffered a reversal. The mother and child hospital, the free maternity services for pregnant women, the high cost of Medicare is something that bothers me. I intend by the grace of God to have a new positive way to address things. In the educational sector, I know that our tertiary institutions are in a bad state. The university education has become too costly for our people in Ondo State. Our industry here is education. When we're in government as Attorney General, the cost of tuition fees just 25,000 naira to 30,000 naira. As soon as this government came in, it was increased to 150,000 naira per each university student. Unfortunately, we're at the receiving end. I intend by the grace of God to bring this down and also ensure that we have jobs for our youth by engaging the private sector. I intend to deal with agri sector in a fresh, new way by taking the sense of our farmers and seeing what way they can increase their output. First, so that we can have food security, secondly, provide employment, and thirdly, serve the industries which we intend to put in place. We know it's difficult for government to do it alone. We intend to engage the private sector in doing this. These are parts of why I think I'm qualified and competent to be there at this time. And I believe that governance is a continuous process. Whatever good things this government is doing, we'll continue with it and we improve on it. We bring new ideas and fresh ideas that will bring honesty into governance. Thank you, Shehu.
Thank you so much. That takes us to, of course, you have opportunity to rebut one another, but we'll take a break, and when we come back, we focus on the economy, the plans of both men on the stage for the people of Ondo State in their manifesto, how they hope to solve some of the economic problems of the state. That's going to be next when we return, everyone. Join us again.
Kó tó di pé mo wá síbí báyìí, ìlú Àkúrẹ́ ni mo ti ń ṣiṣẹ́ ní ilé iṣẹ́ ibi tán ti ṣe búrẹ́dì. Kó tó di pé mo wá tí mo ṣiṣẹ́ ní ibi tí wọ́n ti ń ṣe òwú tán fi ń rán aṣọ. Ìgbà tí mo ń ṣiṣẹ́ ní iṣẹ́ ilé búrẹ́dì, oye tán sọ fún mi kò ká nǹkan tó yẹ kí n fi ṣe, but nígbà tí mo débí báyìí mo ń rí owó tó ju iṣẹ́ tí mò ń ṣe níbi tí mo ti ń ṣiṣẹ́ tẹ́lẹ̀ ní ìlọ́po méjì. Mo dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ arákùnrin wa Akérédolú Olúwarótìmí tó mú irú kọ́ńpìnì yìí wá sí ìgbà láti jẹ́ kí àwa ọ̀dọ́ láti rí nǹkan rere jù nípa iṣẹ́ yìí àti láti rí nǹkan tá need láti ṣe.
With what this government did, less than 3.5 years, they are all unprecedented. There's no local government you get to, you will not see the impact of this administration in terms of infrastructure.
Under the Kamoni Aketi scheme, Arákùnrin Olúwarótìmí Akérédolú commissioned the 45.6-kilometer water rising mains.
You remember when the governor was coming in and when he came in, he did say, we give functional education and technological development as one of the points he really wants to address. And actually, he's done exceptionally well in the basic education sector.
Are you interested in improving the electoral process in Nigeria? The Nigeria Civil Society Situation Room will be on ground in Ondo State to observe the governorship election scheduled for Saturday 10th October 2020. If you witness incidents like delays in voting, voter accreditation or voting without voter's card, distribution of unstamped and unsigned ballot papers, voters not being able to mark their ballot papers in secret, multiple thumbprinting of ballot papers, falsified or non-announcement of results at polling unit, underage voting, insufficient election materials, ballot stuffing, and violence, you can make your report of incidents and observations on the Ondo State Governorship election to the Nigeria Civil Society Situation Room by calling 0909-5050-505 or 0903-299-9919, or you can tweet us at Situation Room NG. For more information, visit situationroom.placng.org. This message is brought to you with support from the UK Foreign Commonwealth and Development Office.
Heli kaka kiki kaka, Ọba onílé ọlá, Adonai El Shaddai, èyí ò gbọdọ̀ balẹ̀ o, èyí ò gbọdọ̀ balẹ̀, èyí ò gbọdọ̀ balẹ̀ o, èyí ò gbọdọ̀ balẹ̀, èyí táyà ò gbọdọ̀ fèdè o, èyí ò gbọdọ̀ balẹ̀, èyí la fẹ́ l'Ondo State wa, èyí ò gbọdọ̀ balẹ̀, èyí máa dùn l'Ondo tiwa o, èyí ò gbọdọ̀ balẹ̀, èyí ò gbọdọ̀ fèdè o, èyí ò gbọdọ̀ balẹ̀.
Vote Eyitayo Jegede for Governor, Ondo State.
PDP, power to the people!
Thank you so much and welcome back. We're now going to focus on the economy with the candidates that are here tonight for the Ondo State Governorship debate. The candidate of the APC, Governor Rotimi Akeredolu, and the candidate of the PDP, Mr. Eyitayo Jegede. Thank you so much. Senior Advocate of Nigeria, both of them are on the stage today. We started with you earlier, Governor Akeredolu, but I think we should begin with you this time around, Mr. Jegede. How do you plan to raise the revenue of the state without increasing taxes?
Excuse me?
How do you plan to raise the revenue of the state without increasing taxes?
Thank you very much, Sheung. For any government, funding is quite key and important. Relying on federal allocation every time does not serve any purpose. The primary objective is to ensure that we make every person to honor his civic responsibility. And that means that each and every one of us must be able to pay what I call very reasonable taxes that are not duplicated or multiplied. We intend, by the grace of God, to ensure that we encourage our people to voluntarily pay their taxes and have a database for all those who are doing business, and also encourage all the organizations where you have businessmen who are involved, like the artisans, to sit down together and work with government in a way that they will be able to pay their taxes reasonably throughout the year. In other words, we intend to open as much as possible the net for the taxes so that each and every of our citizens joyfully pays his tax, no matter how small. If you have many of them in the tax portfolio, then we'll be able to increase the tax revenue for the state. I think more importantly, we have to be focused on ensuring that we plug all leakages in government spending and government funding. That in itself is a way to conserve funds. Where you have employees of federal government and banks also who are resident within the state, we want to ensure that we have all of them honor their civic responsibility to the state. And all our industries also, those who are coming in respect of setting up new industries, will have tax exemption for the company, but not tax exemptions for their employees. By so doing, we also be able to draw in other funds from those who are employed in private sector, because public sector by law have their taxes deducted from source. In other words,
thank you, Mr.
Yes.
Jegede.
Thank you very much.
Your time is up. Governor Akeredolu, same question. How do you hope to raise the revenue of the state without increasing tax?
Thank you. What I want to put on the table is my record of achievement in improving the IGR of the state. Whether you claim you are not directly the captain of the ship, or if you work in that ship, you are expected to have assisted in that ship. What I will say is this: we came in here and the revenue of Ondo State IGR was between 500 to 700 million naira per month. We have improved on it. We have gotten to a level in which today we are grossing averagely 2 billion naira per month in Ondo State. It is an achievement. It's never been like that before. So we have in place today a mechanism that is working, and I'm sure, because by the time we started, got to 1 billion, 1.5 billion, 2 billion. So it's going to continue to increase. And how do you want to increase it? Or why did we do it? We have today a very robust internal revenue services. The building is right opposite here. We constructed it in our own time. We have today employed over 400 graduates who are deployed to all internal revenue offices all over local governments, and they are working. So we have a new internal revenue services that is geared and that has achieved, and that is the important thing. That look, we are already there. We are moving. All we are doing now, we'll continue to do it and add more. That is what I can say. We have achieved from 500 to 700 million naira to 2 billion per annum, per month.
Your time is up. Let me, on this issue of taxes also, this very question will take a minute to answer. And I'll begin. Do you think that there are people in the state who are not captured yet? Or do you think that you need to tax people more because of the dwindling resources coming from the federal allocation? How do you hope that taxation can be maximized in the state? You have a minute.
I don't think it is appropriate to impose heavy tax on individuals. The areas which I intend to look at again are the areas of our resources. Cocoa, for instance, in respect of the grading, there are a lot of leakages in taking our cocoa out of Ondo State. Even for the forestry, there are a lot of leakages in taking our woods out of the forest without taxes. These two areas are areas that are potential sources of revenue for government. They are the areas which I intend to look at. Now, I believe others who have not captured is because we have not appealed to them. We'll continue to sensitize them and appeal to them to be part of the civic position of government to draw in more funds. Yes.
Governor Akeredolu, same question. Do you think there are people in this state that are not captured in the tax net? And if so, do you believe that you earn more, you pay more? Is that your policy?
Well,
1 minute, please.
Well, let me say this. There were people in these states that were not in the tax net. When we came in, we found a way to bring them in. That's what led to the increase. It's not imposing every tax in any way, but we found ways of bringing those who are not in the tax net in, and we found way of blocking those leakages. We did this successfully, and that is what has given rise to our IGR. And to note this, we were awarded a prize as a state as the best growing state in Nigeria under IGR. So in our own time, we know what we are doing. It's that we have the experience and we are capable of doing it. We will increase it. But for COVID, we probably have gotten to about 2.5 billion or going to 3 billion per month. So we are set to do it. We are doing it and we'll do it successfully. So we know those who are not in the tax net for now.
Okay, let's go into one very fundamental part of the economy of this state, which this state is very popular for it, and it's the issue of cocoa. Ondo State is a major cocoa producer. How much of this do you think you can exploit or explore should you be elected as governor?
Well, basically, Ondo State produces on the average 40% of the entire output of this country. And this is because our farmers before now were encouraged to go into cocoa production. Unfortunately, this has gone down, depleted in some way because of migration from the farm to the cities. Secondly, again, because the high productivity of cocoa in terms of seedlings that we used to enjoy is no longer there. What I intend to do by the grace of God is to ensure that we make cocoa more profitable. A lot of our cocoa are turning into trees, wild trees in the forest. If you go between Akure and Ondo, to your left and to your right, you find a lot of cocoa trees that are overgrown. And you find a lot of them also already abandoned. What I think should be done, and what we intend to do, is to ensure that we also take a census of our cocoa farmers. Thereafter, we bring in new seedlings for them. I found from my experience and practical experience, I saw new trees of cocoa with their seedlings that are coming up just at the foot of the trees. And it now takes, on the average, lesser period for cocoa to grow. And I believe that cocoa production is something that should be encouraged. Thank you.
Governor Akeredolu, how much of the cocoa production potential have you been able to utilize and take advantage of since you became governor?
Thank you so much. Since we became governor, we have directed our efforts at increasing our output in cocoa. And it's there for everybody to see. So whatever my brother is talking about, I think that we have done, and we have gone past that, that we want to have record of cocoa farmers. We have done all those things. Today, I remember from record, the sage, Obafemi Awolowo, cultivated about 2,000 hectares. We wanted to cultivate 2,000, but in partnership with the CBN, we increased it to 8,000 hectares for cocoa in Juberi. And in a time, we have given to farmers over 2 million seedlings, improved seedlings of cocoa, free of charge, so that our cocoa output will increase. All this we are doing, we are ready, and cocoa is there for us, and we are set to make sure that these cocoa products will be used for good purposes.
All right. Yet another part of the economy of this state that a lot of people may not know or may know is the potential of bitumen in this state. Ondo State has one of the largest deposits of bitumen in the country. Let me ask, do you have this in your plan, Mr. Jegede? And how do you hope to take advantage of this in 2 minutes?
Through public-private partnership. Bitumen deposits are found in Odigbo local government, in Urele local government, and part of Eseodo local government. They are large deposits. My understanding is that it's been so difficult for previous governments to exploit because of the high capital nature of the processes. And Canadian experience appears to be the best. And again, because it is part of extractive minerals, you need the concurrence of the federal government in terms of license to be able to do it. Interestingly, Ondo State government has a company that I'm sure has a license before now to develop bitumen. The bitumen production, because of the technical nature, is one that you need perfectly private sector experience and help from developed countries for you to be able to extract and process. Canadian experience, for instance, will be a very good one, and I have in mind to diligently, hopefully, and transparently bring in investors that will be able to look at our bitumen reserves and process them for the economy of the state.
Thank you, Mr. Jegede. Governor Akeredolu, same question, bitumen, what have you done with it? The question is, why has it been difficult to take advantage of this opportunity bitumen provides? 2 minutes.
Shehu, let me tell you, it has not been difficult. And I'm rather surprised that my colleague here has not found it right to give due credit. You need to accept facts. You must give due credit. Since Ondo State was created, people have labored and labored. But in our own time, in our own very time, Bitumen exploration has started. We are the one that facilitated it. Ondo State had licenses, but those licenses were not, we have licenses, but we got people. Southwest Bitumen today is there in Irele for exploration, not only for mining, but exploration of bitumen. And let me say this clearly, if my brother does not know, Canadian experience cannot work in Nigeria. It cannot, and I repeat it, it cannot. Because we know that it cannot, and we have gone to German something to produce.
All right.
We have the equipment for our bitumen exploration. No, right. Canadian experience cannot work here.
Let me allow you 1 minute rebuttal on that.
So, you know, I've not been a governor before. Mr. Akeredolu has been a governor for the past 3.5 years. He did say that cocoa output has improved. It has not. Cocoa production in Ondo State has gone down in the last 3.5 years. And he spoke about bitumen. He said Canadian experience cannot work, and they're already exploiting or exploring bitumen. I don't think so. I don't think it is correct that this government is already exploring bitumen or exporting bitumen or producing bitumen. If they are producing bitumen, where are the bitumen? Where is it? We have contractors all over. They still bring this bitumen from outside. I said bitumen from Irele. I have not seen it. And you've mentioned cases of cocoa production has improved. I have not seen the improvements. I have not seen the bitumen. We are all going through the same experience. We are outside, but we know what is happening inside.
All right, Governor Akeredolu, 1 minute to rebut.
I pity my brother, since he says he has not seen it. There's nothing I can do. But the evidence is there. This was done to the full glare of the whole world when Southwest Bitumen moved into Irele for exploration for the first time in this country. If anybody in this state now claims that it has not seen it, then there's a problem. We have a problem. Not even an educated person will say he has not seen it. It's there for everybody to see. So for me, mixing bitumen with cocoa does not make sense. I believe the issue of cocoa is different. I'm talking about cocoa. CBN is there to verify. I'm saying that we have started, we have had 2,000 hectares cleared, and cocoa is being planted there, and that with CBN, it was increased to over 8,000 hectares. The berry is there, I can see it. We haven't doing the road to the farm. So if he has not had the opportunity of going there, it's an unfortunate development. But I'm telling you facts. I'm giving figures that can be verified. Right. So I don't know what else.
Your time is up. I think maybe we've rested this, Mr. Jagade. But let's look at the oil-producing part of the state. Ondo State perhaps is in the league of the oil-producing state and of the 9 states in the country. A visit to some of the oil-producing communities still show large amounts of underdevelopment or some cases of non-development in some areas at all. Mr. Jagade, on this one, you have 2 minutes. You were part of the last administration. What did you do? And if you become governor, what do you intend to do in terms of development in infrastructure in these oil-producing areas of Ondo State?
Well, I do know that the southern belt of the state have not had it too good. First, because basically there's been no power in that part of the state, and I cannot give credit to all our former governors or our serving governors. I have not been one before. I've told the people in the southern belt that we intend to experience something new, and because basically I do appreciate the fact that power is dominantly under what I call, it's under concurrent, but it's under also exclusive legislative list, in that it's covered by national grid. But I think there's need for new experience. There are areas in this country that do not have national grid, yet they have light. All of us generate, transmit, and distribute power from our home. If you have a generator and you connect it to your house, it means you're generating power and you're distributing. But of course, there's need for us to have big machines and turbines. The street lights that you have in Ondo State are powered by private generators, and you have street lights all over the place, which came in the last administration. Now, there's need for us to set the southern area, the cities, into separate blocks and have small turbines that will facilitate power generation in conjunction with the local government and the local populace. Whoever is prepared to pay little amount to access that power should be given opportunity to access power, and you have light in those areas. There must be a starting point. You do not wait for many years. It's been like this for the past 15 years. because our governors have not shown new experience and have not brought in fresh ideas into the need to have certain part of the state have power. It's a very critical thing because you're underdeveloping the economy if that sector does not have a light.
Governor Akeredolu, the same question about the oil-producing area of the state. I've asked him because he's not been governor, but the question for you on this area is, what have you done in the last 4 years, and going forward, what do you intend to do should you be elected for the oil-producing areas of Ondo State?
Right. Thank you. The oil-producing areas of Ondo State are clearly defined. And what we have done in most of these areas are infrastructural development. They are there for everybody to see. Let me even take one thing that started with the last government. In most of our oil-producing states, they don't have potable water to drink. And it's hard for them to sink well. Right? Aboto was there. It was even more or less like commission. You commission a project without articulation, without necessary pumps, without anything. What we have done today is that we have gone ahead to ensure the pumps and everything necessary are there, and we have laid the pipes. So water from Aboto to the generality of areas of our producing states today is there, and they drink potable water. Then there are some few of the roads that we have done since we came into office. Go to Araromi and Lekki, where we are constructing road from here to Ibeju Lekki. We have started. Go into some other areas where we are working there. So for me, what has happened really is that we have done our best. If you talk about street light, people should be truthful when you make statements on street light. They never had light for 8 years when my brother was deputy governor. 8 years. We came in, and I can say this and boast of it, that we needed to get all the transmission lines repaired, and with support of the Niger Delta Power Holding. Yes, because okay, we are the same government. Niger Delta Power Holding, we have gone into it. We have almost completed all the transmission lines, and from there they have even signed agreement to join with Tomato Shore. So light is coming to the south very, very soon.
Governor,
these are all our efforts.
Up, please. There's another very critical two questions on the issue of the economy, but it's going to be a minute each for these questions, and they're very important. Well, this has to do with the social welfare of the people of the state. With the population of indigent citizens and the elderly in the state and the poverty level, would you consider giving stipends on monthly welfare support to this class of people?
Well, before I go into that, I don't have a minute. Let me say first that the issue of light in the south is something that is very important. Mr. Governor had been on the seat for these past 3.5 years. There's no light in the south. Now, having said that, let me say that the elderly and the pregnant and those who are physically challenged are vulnerable in the society. And what I believe we should do is to ensure that we give them comfort and welfare. First of all, those who are elderly and who have been part of the civil service should earn their pension, should earn their gratuity. Because it's not a privilege, it is a right. And once you are able to take care of that sector, then you have taken care of some part of those elderly. Then in terms of stipend, once we are able to take a census of those old women and the funds are there, it will be an appropriate thing to do to give them some comfort. If there is no stipend, then we must ensure that their children are given opportunity to have access to education.
Governor Akeredolu, same question. Indigent citizens and the elderly in the state with the poverty level, would you consider giving stipends monthly, welfare support to this class of people?
Well, let me also start by this reporter. He said, I've been in office for 3.5 years. He was part of a government that was there for 8 years. For those 8 years, the southern part of the state never had light. Light did not blink. We have just come, And we are saying that even before we end this first term, there will be light there because they have signed agreement with Tomoto Shop and the transmission lines are already completed. That's what we are saying. So if in 8 years nothing was done, so I don't know who is to blame really. But when you talk about the vulnerable, we are working at them. That's why for us, when we talk about elderly, a number of them are through federal government today. They are having money paid to them monthly, every month. So the vulnerable ones, we are concerned about them. We are worried about them. Those who are vulnerable have access to free medical care. Those who are what we call
all right. Now, the last very question on this issue of the economy has to do with the civil service in Ondo State. A large proportion of the expenditure of the state goes to servicing the civil service, with people suggesting that the civil service strength, the population might be larger than it can bear. What plans do you have to give a decent civil service or run a decent civil service in view of the income of Ondo State? 1 minute, please.
I don't think the civil service is overbloated. I think it's a question of giving responsibility to those who are in the civil service. Take our engineers, for example. We intend to create gangs of engineers and divide the state into sectors where you have all our machineries refurbished and brought back to function. Once we do that, we will be able to engage the civil servants who also add to the productivity of government. I do not believe that it's overbloated. I believe that we should give them responsibilities.
Governor Akeredolu, same question, please.
Well, for me, we have civil service that we are able to manage, and we are doing it successfully. Today, there are a number of our, what I would call culverts, a number of our bridges that our engineers in Ministry of Works constructed in our time. We never awarded contract out. When we had this blast at Iluabo, with this that destroyed so many places there, the road is finished now. It was done by our Ministry of Work. We must give kudos to them. In our own time, we have encouraged them to do good work. And it's the only way to manage the civil service. We have given them what I would call the impetus. We have ensured that, look, we allow them to know that, look, we are good. And because we said to them, try this. When we came in, over 3 bridges collapsed in Nikare at the same time. And I called the Ministry of Works. You must be able to do this. They went there. What they did, I don't see any other construction company that can do better. So when we have all these areas that you bring in the civil service, you know that the civil service can still perform very well.
So I'll give a minute each for Rebecca to end this segment before we move into another. I guess maybe I should start with Governor Akeredolu. You have a minute, Rebecca. I guess he said something that you wish to respond to.
Well, the only thing I want to respond to is the issue of, when we talk about areas of pension. Yes, the pensioners are entitled to their money. But when we came, the government in which he served was owing several areas of pension. We have had to pay them. Today, when we came, they never gave the civil servants any sense of belonging. He was part of that government, fully part of that government. He was one of only 2 who served there over 7 years. 2 of them served with Mubiko over 7 years. Now, when we came, the morale was very low. The civil servants were dying in droves because they were not paying their salaries. They were owing them over 7 months' salary. So when we came, we had to pay to ensure that the civil servants get at least encouraged. And I think today they are living up to what we expect of them. The civil service today is different from what they have in Mubiko's time. This time around, in his own time when he was there in government, this time around we are promoting civil servants. Right. We haven't done promotion for 2020.
Your time is up. You have a minute for the rebuttal.
Yes, I do understand the emotions of Mr. Governor about the fact that I served in an administration. I would love to be in his shoes. I would love to be a governor. And I would love people to compare what I would do in 3.5 years to what he has done in the last 3.5 years. There's only one governor. So there's no basis for comparing a commissioner with a governor. And I will try to talk about SLDO. In the last 3.5 years, SLDO has not had any development, not from this administration. In the last 3.5 years, Ilaji has never had any development, not from this administration. When we were there, in the government which I served, and I should also give credit to Dr. Mimiko, We had the water in Abutu that he mentioned was the brainchild of that government. All he said they did was reticulation. Which one did you do on your own? We had a mega school built in SSLDO. We had footbridges built in SSLDO and Ilaje areas. Now, we had Osopadek functioning fairly well. Unfortunately, things have gone down the drain. I would love Mr. Governor to point to what he has done specifically in Ilaje. All right,
Mr. Jagede, your time is up.
Thank you very much.
We'll take a break. Just a moment. We're due for a break.
Okay.
We'll take a break, and when we come back, it's getting interesting in the conversation about ideas of how to move Ondo State forward. But when we come back, we turn to the issue of security, health, and education of Ondo State, and the ideas in moving these areas forward. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Kaka kiki kaka, ọba onílé ọlá, Adonai El Shaddai, èyí ò gbọdọ̀ balẹ̀ o, èyí ò gbọdọ̀ balẹ̀, èyí ò gbọdọ̀ balẹ̀ o, èyí ò gbọdọ̀ balẹ̀, èyí táyà ò gbọdọ̀ fèdè o, èyí ò gbọdọ̀ balẹ̀. Èyí la fẹ́ l'Ondo State wa èyí ò gbọdọ̀ balẹ̀. Èyí máa dùn l'Ondo tiwa lárugẹ. Èyí ò gbọdọ̀ balẹ̀. Èyí ò gbọdọ̀ fèdè o. Èyí ò gbọdọ̀ balẹ̀.
Vote Eyitayo Jegede for Governor, Ondo State.
PDP, power for the people. Heli kaka. Kaka, ọba onílé ọlá, Adonai El Shaddai, èyí ò gbọdọ̀ balẹ̀ o, èyí ò gbọdọ̀ balẹ̀, èyí ò gbọdọ̀ balẹ̀ o, èyí ò gbọdọ̀ balẹ̀, èyí táyà ò gbọdọ̀ fèdè o, èyí ò gbọdọ̀ balẹ̀. Èyí la fẹ́ l'Ondo State wa èyí ò gbọdọ̀ balẹ̀. Èyí máa dùn l'Ondo tiwa lárugẹ. Èyí ò gbọdọ̀ balẹ̀. Èyí ò gbọdọ̀ fèdè o. Èyí ò gbọdọ̀ balẹ̀.
Vote Eyitayo Jegede for Governor, Ondo State.
PDP, power for the people.
Are you interested in improving the electoral process in Nigeria? The Nigeria Civil Society Situation Room will be on ground in Ondo State to observe the governorship election scheduled for Saturday, 10th October 2020. If you witness incidents like delays in voting, voter accreditation or voting without voter's card, distribution of unstamped and unsigned ballot papers, voters not being able to mark their ballot papers in secret, multiple thumbprinting of ballot papers, falsified or non-announcement of results at polling unit, underage voting, insufficient election materials, ballot stuffing, and violence. You can make your report of incidents and observations on the Ondo State Governorship election to the Nigeria Civil Society Situation Room by calling 0909-5050-505 or 0903-299-9919, or you can tweet us at Situation Room NG. For more information, visit situationroom.placng.org. This message is brought to you with support from the UK Foreign Commonwealth and Development Office.
Láti ya 2003 ni bàbá mi ti kú. Gbàgbà tí bàbá mi dẹ̀ kú, asa ń sangu. Kárí àníyá mi ṣe ní bọ́ọ̀dù. Òká tó lè máa jẹun. Wọ́n gbé mi síbi tó dání. Ibi tán gbé mi sí ẹ́ńjì mọ́ ọ̀pẹ́rẹ́tì ń bẹ̀. Láti ìgbà yẹn ìyà ò tún jẹ mí mọ́. Ó dẹ̀ rọ̀ mí lọ́rùn kí n máa ọ̀pẹ́rẹ́tì ẹ̀. Iṣẹ́ plywood ló máa ń ṣe. Hot press lórúkọ tá à ń pe ẹ́ńjì yẹn. Àtìgbà tí mo ti wà ń bí i dẹ̀ ní ìgbé ayé mi ó da náà torí mọ́ mi tó ń ṣiṣẹ́ iṣẹ́ líle mo ṣàwá fún ní 100,000 kó ṣà ra àwọn bíi provision àtọ́làtọ̀ kó ṣà máa rọra máa tà á máa pure water ń gbòòrò. Nǹkan tí màá sọ fún àwọn èèyàn ni wípé ká support gómìnà wa so that lẹ́ẹ̀kejì tó bá tún lọ àwa Ondo State náà kò ní gbàgbé wa.
you so much for staying with us, everyone, on this Ondo State governorship debate. The governorship candidates of APC and PDP, they've been talking to us on their ideas for some of these issues we have posed tonight. Let's talk about security. This time around, I'll be starting with Governor Akeredolu of the APC. As a lawyer, are you satisfied with the present structure of the country with regards to the power of the state government to secure itself? If not, how do you hope to fix this in ensuring the safety of lives and property of your people? 2 minutes.
2 minutes. So, I don't know whether you will allow me. Please, I think it is important for you to read out the ground rules again. You remember just now that there are people who came late here, as always, and they were clapping. And your rule 4 is that there won't be allowance for cheering, booing, or clapping in the course of debate. Maybe they don't know. It's important for you to tell them. It's not that people don't have supporters here, they could be clapping too, so that we don't have these rules broken without any respect. I believe that we are having a decent debate here, and if we have rules, we should keep by those rules. And I think it's important for you to announce it today.
Governor Akeredolu, thank you so much. Perhaps I should also say to everyone in the audience that the rule is that there won't be any clapping or any jeering or cheering within this time that we are having this conversation, so that we can hear the ideas from those who are debating tonight. And so let me allow you to begin your answer on the issue of security. As a lawyer, are you satisfied with the present structure of the country with regards to the power of the state government to secure itself? If not, how do you hope to fix these in ensuring the safety of lives and property of your people?
Thank you. I can assure you that I am not pleased with our security architecture in the country today. I am one of the strong advocates for multi-level policing, and that the country is ripe for it. I believe that to have a single command, for instance, for our police, cannot ensure security we need. And for us as a state or state governors to be called the chief security officer without having powers, it does not make sense. So that is one of the reasons that led to a number of us, those of us in Southwest, to create the Southwest Security Network, which we christened Amotekun. And the idea really is this: Amotekun, as you know, is backed by law, and Amotekun has come to stay. And we are making a case that, look, as chief security officer, those that the Constitution has saddled responsibility for the security of lives and properties of people of our state, we have a stake, particularly when we have this challenge. And I believe that the police is saddled with a lot of things. It might be that things are getting out of their hand, they don't have the number. So we are prepared as a state to add, to assist, so that we cooperate together and work together. And that's what the essence of Amotekun, that look, okay, in ensuring security, Amotekun will be there to be part of security outfit, to secure our people and their lives and properties, and we can be there, cooperate with the police, even the military, with the civil defense, and we are doing it. Amotekun, as you know, those we trained have passed out, and they have been working with other security outreach here. And immediately the issue of community policing comes in, I think we can all work together.
All right. Mr. Jegede, you have 2 minutes also. Same question.
Well, let me start first by saying that there must be a deliberate policy to strengthen the states. And if I may add this, to weaken the center a little bit. Now, I believe in the state police, and I believe all our governors, all over the 36 states of the Federation, should work together and ensure that we amend the Constitution to allow the state police to operate. Now, having said that, what we have now, we must also work with it. The security architecture of the entire country is in a bad shape. And I believe that Ondo State is also peculiar because of cases of kidnapping. What I would advise and what I believe should be done for us in PDP is that, first of all, we must ensure that we build police outposts all over those vulnerable areas. Secondly, assist the military by using security funds to also build some small barracks all over the northern part of the state where you have a case of kidnapping. Thirdly, also ensure that we enforce the anti-kidnapping law. and have in place the desire to be able to enforce these laws by bringing all culprits to book. The APC government in the center and the state have a big opportunity now to allow for the state police.
Okay, let me follow up on that question. 2 minutes also. The Amotekun Security Initiative is said to be in danger of failure if not properly managed. How do you hope to run this setup properly?
Thank you. Amotekun Security Initiative can never fail. It can, and I'm saying it boldly, it can never fail. It was well thought out. We had a security summit. Even the IG was supposed to be there. Some DIGs, all of us participated. And this is a product of that summit. And after the summit, we had gone into work through the dawn, the development agenda for Western Nigeria. They worked thoroughly over months. And thereafter, we have put in place the laws. And at least Ondo State, we have trained our own security outfit. They are passed out. Other states are there. I know that some are completing their training very soon. It cannot fail because, again, we are concentrating for now on some areas in which we believe that the police is lacking. We are talking about kidnapping. We are talking about herdsmen, farmers clash. Those are the areas we are concentrating on now. And when you look at kidnapping, the Amotekun they have performed a feat. It's just that you see a few kidnapped incidents we have in Ondo State today. They are the ones that have gone inside the bush. You know, because we have hunters, and I said so before, well-trained hunters who went through the drills. Now they can go after these people because they know the path. And when it comes to herdsmen who are destroying farm produce, I can assure you, we have detained several herds, cows, that the owners have to come back to pay the farmers compensation before they were released. These are the work that Amotekun did, and they are still doing. So Amotekun cannot fail. I can assure you, it is one in which we have to spend a lot of money. That is what is important. We must spend more money. We must employ more people into Amotekun outfit, and at least give them the encouragement, because the people have time.
Your time is up, Governor Akeredolu. Mr. Jegede, your time now on this same question.
Let me say this. Amotekun Security Outfit is a bipartisan initiative of the entire governors in the Southwest. It's a very popular initiative. The important thing is that it should not be politicized. And I'm not saying it is being politicized. All I'm saying is that for it to endure, we must rise above partisanship in every way we deal with Amotekun, and also ensure that we work together with the extant security agencies, i.e. the police, the army, and the civil defense. Even if it's only in furnishing information to all those security officers that are well equipped to tackle areas of violence, then it is something that should be encouraged. And I'm honest enough to tell you that if properly managed, Amotekun will be a new inroad into ensuring security of life and properties.
All right. This is another issue on security. For those clamoring for an end to Federal Special Anti-Robbery Squad, popularly called SARS, what way do you think this situation can be best handled in the face of the law? 2 minutes.
Thank you. SARS is a product of its own time. And I am certain that time has not gone away. Special anti-robbery, right? And we see, yes, robbery incidences have reduced, but I see robbery. Now, the special anti-robbery squad have gone ahead to do a number of other things. It's like that their scope has been expanded. But the problem really is not with the world special anti-robbery, it's with these people who are running it. The use to which we put an agency or a department or the police is what we should be concerned with, not the abuse. The abuse, we will shout to high heavens, we will call on the police authorities to curb it. But that abuse does not mean that we will throw the baby out with the bathwater. I believe that if properly managed by Nigerian police, it will still work. But just like the police anywhere in the world, Look at what has happened in America. Those are the police in everywhere of the world. There are men in that institution, in that security agencies that abuse their power. Because you have gone, because they are stronger, it is something that is like normal for them to abuse their powers. But that is for a work in progress. We must curtail that. But it won't because of that stop it. The way I look at it, they are doing some work and they have been very effective in some areas in dealing with these hardened criminals. Because of their training, they deal with hardened criminals in a way that is special. So for me, as a person, I believe that SARS, as they call it, is not necessarily that, it's not the name, it's just that the people who populate that agency or that department that has to be retrained.
All right. Mr. Gegede, your time, same question.
Yes. SARS, I believe, is part of Nigerian police force. They cannot operate outside the protocols and regulations established by the police. There are cases of fundamental human rights. SARS is not a license to abuse the rights of our people. They must operate within the protocols of the police. But let me add this, that because the state governors do not have the operational control over the police, except of course for those who are lucky to have commissioners of police at their beck and call. It is important for the IG himself to continue to reform the police, to ensure that we bring civility into even policing in our system, neighborhood police, and we should emphasize prevention of crime more than the approach of saying you tackle robbers. Robbers, in all cases, are part of the society, and they are the fallout of the economic downturn and some unguided values of our people. It is important that SARS must operate within the protocols of the police and protocols of any civil society. That's my take on that.
All right. We will come in a short while talk about health and education. But I think it is a moment for us to make some clarification. This is a segment where I will allow you to make some clarification on some issues that have been raised in the campaign, issues of politics and issues of personal life. This time around, let me begin with Mr. Gegede. You have contested for this office before and you did not win. Some people have said you have fallen out with your former principal, the governor whom you worked with, who is now supporting someone else in this race. What makes you think this time this outcome will be different?
Well, let me start first by admitting that holding positions is not entirely a creation of man. Some of us who are a little bit religious believe that power belongs to God. Secondly, let me also add that myself and Dr. Mimiko do not belong to the same political party, at least for now. He belongs to the Zenith Labour Party. I belong to the fold of the People's Democratic Party. I know and I confirm I contested election in 2016 and Governor Akeredolu was declared the winner. I was allowed to contest 3 days before the election, despite the fact that we asked for that election be postponed. But I'm comfortable with that. And the whole idea is to have the people of Ondo State also have the benefit of Mr. Akeredolu's own regime, so that after 4 years, they will now decide whether they should continue to stay with him or try their luck elsewhere. Now, let me say this, that we have a clear vision in education, in health, in tourism, in agriculture, and in growing the economy. And that's what we are bringing on board. We also want to ensure that at all times, we bring the welfare of our people, an opportunity of our students to go to universities without paying high fees given to them, because some of us have the benefit of free education, also in the health sector. And I know this has gone severally. I was in a regime, and I said this even though I was not a governor, and I want to be a governor, where we offered free maternal services to all pregnant women in the state. We had 2 mother and child hospitals. It's a starting point. The whole idea of me coming to run for governor is to ensure that I expand the scope and make welfare of the people the cornerstone of the administration. Education, health, sports, agri, areas which I intend to come up with brand fresh ideas, and I hope the people will give me the opportunity to do it.
Governor Akeredolu, for your time in this segment, let me ask you, what would be your reaction to allegations that in this your first term, you haven't run an inclusive government, and that in fact your family members have loomed large over the government activities.
Thank you. Well, I don't know how best you want to run a government. I think we have done it the best way. And what I know is that our record will speak for ourselves, for us. The works we have done will speak for us. We met here, 2 mother and child hospital, Akure and Ondo. We increased it to 6, and 7th one has come up just last week. Mother and child hospital. That's an improvement. We met here a run-down, totally run-down medical services. There were no facilities in the hospitals. We went ahead and got to US, Mercia, bought equipment, everything worth about 6 million. And all of them have been distributed around. Now, when it comes to the issue of acquisition or all this blackmail that my what do you call it now, my family running the state government, what this state should be proud of, what this state has today is an election of 1 and they have 2. They have that price for the price of 2, because today they have in place an intelligent governor and an intelligent first lady. So there's no, you can't run away from it. It's 2 for the price of 1. They don't come easily. So when you have an intelligent first lady, there's no way he will not chart her own course. There's no way he won't decide to want to help the widows. There's no way he wants to decide to help those who are suffering from breast cancer, which has been a tough for long. So there's no way. Today he has produced solar girls. Today he has more. It's because the product of intelligence. So the state today has just 1 election that has given them a price of 2, and it's not easy to come by. And I'm proud of her. I'm proud of members of the First Lady for our work.
Thank you so much. We'll take a break, and when we come back, we will talk about health, education, and the plans of the gentleman on the stage. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
With what this government did, less than 3.5 years, they are all unprecedented. There's no local government you get to, you will not see the impact of this administration in terms of infrastructure.
Under the Kamoni Aketi scheme, Arakunrin Oluwarotimi Akeredolu commissioned the 45.6-kilometer water rising mains.
You remember when the governor was coming in and when he came in, he did say, we give functional education and technological development as one of the points he really wants to address. And actually, he's done exceptionally well in the basic education sector.
We inherited a chocolate factory from the previous administration. When we look at it, we said, well, Mr. Governor said, this is not up to the standard that we want. He made it abundantly clear that if you are producing chocolate, it is a global competition, because people producing chocolate outside the country that are making serious money from it, we look at what you are doing if you want to break into the export market. And he gave a marching order that please go and look at that factory, bring in other experts, look at how that place will be upgraded so that we can compete globally. And I am proud to say that has been done today.
Kó tó di pé mo wá síbí báyìí, ìlú Àkúrẹ́ ni mo ti ń ṣiṣẹ́ ní ilé iṣẹ́ ibi tán ti ṣe búrẹ́dì. Kó tó di pé mo wá tí mo ṣiṣẹ́ ní ibi tí wọ́n ti ń ṣe òwú tán fi rán aṣọ. Ìgbà tí mo ń ṣiṣẹ́ ní iṣẹ́ ilé búrẹ́dì, oye tó ń sọ fún mi kò ká nǹkan tó yẹ kí n fi ṣe but nígbà tí mo débí báyìí mò ń rí owó tó ju iṣẹ́ tí mò ń ṣe níbi tí mo ti ń ṣiṣẹ́ tẹ́lẹ̀ ní ìlọ́po méjì. mo dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ arákùnrin wa Akérédolú Olúwarótìmí tó mú irú kọ́ńpìnì yìí wá sí Ìbàdàn láti jẹ́ kí àwa ọ̀dọ́ láti rí nǹkan rere dìbò nípa iṣẹ́ yàtọ̀ láti rí nǹkan tá need láti rí ṣe.
Are you interested in improving the electoral process in Nigeria? The Nigeria Civil Society Situation Room will be on ground in Ondo State to observe the governorship election scheduled for Saturday 10th October 2020. If you witness incidents like delays in voting, voter accreditation or voting without voter's card, distribution of unstamped and unsigned ballot papers, voters not being able to mark their ballot papers in secret, multiple thumbprinting of ballot papers, falsified or non-announcement of results at polling unit, underage voting, insufficient election materials, ballot stuffing, and violence. You can make your report of incidents and observations on the Ondo State Governorship election to the Nigeria Civil Society Situation Room by calling 0909-5050-505 or 0903-299-9919, or you can tweet us at Situation Room NG. For more information, visit situationroom.placng.org. This message is brought to you with support from the UK Foreign Commonwealth and Development Office.
Heli kaka kiki kaka Ọba onílé ọlá Adonai El Shaddai Èyí ò gbọdọ̀ balẹ̀ o Èyí ò gbọdọ̀ balẹ̀ Èyí ò gbọdọ̀ balẹ̀ o Èyí ò gbọdọ̀ balẹ̀ Èyí táyà ò gbọdọ̀ fèdè o Èyí ò gbọdọ̀ balẹ̀ Èyí la fẹ́ l'Ondo State tiwa o Èyí ò gbọdọ̀ balẹ̀ Èyí máa dùn l'Ondo tiwa o lárugẹ Èyí ò gbọdọ̀ balẹ̀ Èyí ò gbọdọ̀ fèdè o Èyí ò gbọdọ̀ balẹ̀.
Vote Eyitayo Jegede for Governor, Ondo State.
PDP, power to the people.
Let's focus on the issues of health. Governor Akeredolu, I'll begin with you this time around. On the issue of education, similar question, but because you are a sitting governor, the question might be framed differently. Some schools in the state are now tagged elitist. What are you doing to correct these? Also, in the view of the presidential directive raising the salaries of teachers, what do you hope to do in teachers' welfare?
Start from the teachers' welfare. As if you were here, I had a forum which I had with teachers. We have no option. We will go along with the retirement age, which is now being raised, and we'll go along with what is contained in the welfare package. We have no option. We have always believed in it. I remember that one of the things the teachers raised here was that, look, they have always had 3 tutors general in 3 senatorial districts, and they want an increase, and a number of them have risen to that level to get to level 17, and I've said to them, we will increase the number of tutors generals we have in the state. That is for teachers and their welfare, and for me, if I got to can you give me the earlier part of your question?
So I was asking about the fees and the increase in the fees, and some of the schools are being now tagged elitist because of the increased fees.
Okay. I don't see any school being termed elitist. I have argued that point. When we got here, where my learned friend was Attorney General, the fees in Unimed was 400,000. The fees in OSU Tech, that's Olusegun Agagun University of Technology, was above 150. Nobody complained. Now the concentration is in Akumba, and what we have done in Akumba is that we have said to the students, the least fees charged in any university, state university in Southwest, we will charge it, and that we have done. And they came in and worked at it, and themselves brought the details, all the facts, and we now did that. They accepted. It is now political time. Politicians are not talking about increase of fees. Right. I believe we have done our bit.
Mr. Jagada, because you are not a sitting governor and you are the one who have criticized the sitting governor, the present administration, that the fees are too high. Considering the state of the economy and dwindling revenue, how do you hope to run the schools? And of course, the other leg of that question is the presidential directive raising the salaries of teachers. What do you hope to do in teachers' welfare too?
Well, let me start by trying to understand the position of Mr. Governor. I think it depends on priorities and what importance you place on education. Education is the mainstay industry of people like us in the Southwest. Between 8 years before the governor came in, the tuition fee was 25,000 naira or 35,000 naira per session. In Akumba, for instance, which he has admitted. And those fees were maintained for those 8 years. As soon as he came in, he increased the fees from 30 to 150. Again, I stand to be corrected. When we criticized it, he reduced it by 20,000, making it 130,000. And I stand to be corrected. Now, the summary of it is that for those who have 4 children in school, they are paying 25,000 naira for 4 children, with total 100,000. That payment for 4 children is now being collected for only 1 child. In fact, more for only 1 child. And what is the outcome? You have a number of our students now out of school. 2, you have a good number of them searching again for schools that collect lesser fees. Kogi, for instance, Kogi University, Anyiba, and then the Polytechnic in Ekiti, that are charging 45,000 naira. Now, what has happened is that the same government has now lost the revenue of those who have migrated from this school. So go to the Polytechnic in Owo. Before now, you see a lot of activities in front of that Polytechnic. Photocopy machine, food industry, canteens, people carry on business. It's not like a ghost town. The reason is that the number of students have dwindled. And again, I stand to be corrected. The truth of it again is that teachers are not being encouraged because of non-payment of fees. Again, I stand to be corrected. In our Polytechnic, I know that recently they were paid 7 months salary.
Your time is up, Mr. Gegede.
Thank you, Mr.
The other leg you were not able to answer, but I know Governor Akeredolu wanted to rebut on that. You have a minute to do that.
Thank you. Now, when my learned friend spoke about reduction born out of criticism, whose criticism? Not him. He did not see anything in the first instance first. Now, the students were the ones that came. When the Governing Council increased the fees, they came to me. And I invited the Governing Council, and we met. The fees was reduced in the first instance. And students went to school, paid that fee for 2 years without complaining. Now, when I had a program on the television, the question was asked. And I said, look, where I am is simple. If the students can come up with any fee of any state university in Southwest that is lower than us, we will comply. And that's how we came about further reduction. And the students are happy with it. So I don't see any problem in that. For me, the students are happy and they are ready to pay.
Let me allow Mr. Jagede to your own minute for the rebuttal.
Now, there should be no basis for the value of education to say that unless you find a state in the Southwest that is charging lesser fees, you cannot charge lesser fees. No. Some governments have given us free education in the Southwest of this country, and we all benefited from it. It was not that it was easy or it was easy to fund it. It is because you have to prioritize what you want to think should apply as the greatest benefit for the greatest masses of the people. That's my answer.
All right. So we've come to the base of the debate tonight, but we've come to the point where I'll allow both of you to ask questions, and we have a minute to answer. I'll start with Mr. Jegede. You're going to ask Governor Akeredolu a question, and you have a minute to answer. Please go ahead.
Well, this is surprise. Okay, let me ask. So, Governor, will you be prepared to reduce the tuition fees to what operated before you came in, at least for university students?
Well, it is something I believe this state cannot do. I am not prepared to do it because we have responsibilities, and those responsibilities were put on us by the government you served in. This state has no business having 3 universities at the same time. Today, if they were allowing 25,000 when they had 2 universities, when you now have 3 universities, it is a whole lot of responsibility. And I believe quite strongly, for that matter, that we have more than what we are chewing, more than what we can bite, or we are biting more than what we can chew. Sorry for that. And for me, it is for the good of these people, of our people, that our students will go to university and have proper university education, not outdated education, not one in which because you are paying pittance, you don't get proper education. We are giving them proper education. That's why today, Adekunle Ajashi, that you are talking about, is the best university, state university in Nigeria.
You have opportunity now to ask him a question.
Thank you. Well, Tayo, the question I will ask you is this. You have toured round the state, and I want you to be honest to the people. Have you not seen the impact of good governance in this state today, in terms of infrastructure, in terms of our primary schools, in terms of provision of water, in terms of industrialization that was not nowhere to be found before I came in? Have you not seen anything? Tell them.
Unfortunately, I have not seen much. Unfortunately, I've not seen in Ilaje, I've not seen the infrastructure, I've not seen in Eseldo, I've not seen in Irili.
Maybe in Akure. You have not seen.
I have not seen enough. I have not seen enough.
You have not seen enough.
All I can tell you is I will do more than you, sir.
Did you do that?
I will do more than you.
Your government, did you do that at all?
I will do more than me.
No, why you? No, I don't know what to ask.
You said I should be honest.
You said you have not seen. I've pointed out to you so many places. Did you see Nikare? Did you see Akure where you are? You, Tayo.
I intend to complete your project, sir.
No, you want to? I say you want to complete my project. What I'm saying is this, Tayo. In your own time.
Yes, sir.
The road leading to your house was not tarred. I tarred it for you. I say I don't. I've done a lot. Did you see your road leading to your house?
That road was tarred because your SA infrastructure lives on that road.
Not this case.
Your permanent
time is not for this, but we need to go now.
I tarred the road for you.
We're out of time. We're out of time, gentlemen.
In charge of work.
We're out of time, gentlemen.
Around that place.
So we need to go now, but let me allow 20 seconds each.
Seriously, he said because my SA, you live there.
No.
I tarred it for you.
No.
I tarred that road.
No. Alákùnrin sir. Ẹ̀gbọ́n.
We're out of time. No, sir. Mr. Jegede, we're out of time.
No, let me thank you.
Just about 15 seconds for your closing statement.
Yes. Now, I want our people in Ondo State to give us an opportunity to have a fresh face and fresh ideas. I concede that all governors have done their best, but most of the time, the best is not enough for our country, for our state. And what I bring on board is transparency, honesty, and readiness to work, and to open our state for governance to all the people. And I will borrow his words: the government of the people, by the people, for the people. All inclusive.
Mr. Jegede, thank you so much. Governor Akeredolu, you have about 15 seconds for your closing thoughts.
Thank you. What I call on our people is this. Today, the good works are there for you to see. We have done very well, and I can say that without blinking an eye. I am not blind. I can see the works you have done. Most of people in the state can see the works you have done. And some of them are not yet completed. And some have to be sustained. Sustainability is based on continuity.
Thank you so much.
Continuity is the key word.
Governor Akeredolu, Mr. Jagada, thank you indeed for showing up tonight and talking to the people of Ondo State. As we close this debate, I'd like both of you in a show of friendship and to elbow shake as we close the debate. Thank you so much, gentlemen.
Even August is my friend.
And that's it. On behalf of our partners, thank you so much, everyone, for watching. It's goodbye.
What a case.